How to fight an aggressive player. First, in explaining how to fight them, we have to understand their mindset. They watch you like a prey. So when you think about fighting an aggressive fighter, you have to never be scared of them. Because if you're scared, you're going to backstab. And if you're going to backstab, they have more space. The more they push you in the corner, the higher the chance to win their match. So to counter this playstyle, we have to use sideways, we need to play a lot in clinch, we need to use powerful blows. Powerful blows break their mind and turn off their state, so they pass from a predator to a prey. And they will take a little bit of seconds first and come back to the original focus, if they will. To land those powerful kicks, we need to take their rhythm, we need to learn how they move and when they strike, so we'll be able to counter in the perfect moment. Now we are going to talk about what are the best kicks against those players. Nice to meet you, I'm Taekwondo Analysis and I love to share my passion on YouTube. If you want to improve with me, just click the subscribe button, click like and let me know your best strategy to counter an aggressive fighter in the comment below. In my opinion, the best kicks to stop the opponent is of course the side kick. Overall, if you are able to counter a roundhouse kick, this type of kick can easily break the opponent's brief. Another kick that we can use is a left roundhouse kick. This is because we are going to aim for the spleen, or we can also aim for the lever, which are the pain points, and pain break the thinking flow. As last, we want to close the distance also if you are taller, because those fighters want to use more space possible, and they do not have the habits to fight in a clinch. The strongest kick that you can learn is the spinning back kick, because they are going to perform a lot of roundhouse kicks, and this is also the best counter against every single roundhouse kick. And this kick is going to give you 4 points instead than 2. As last, we prefer to use sideways instead than backstab, because backstab are useful to counter on missing kick, but will be in a further spot compared to when we dodge on the side. By dodging on the side, we will have more chance to score on the back of the armor, so this tactic will open us more chance to score. I advise you also to watch the video on how to fight any of your opponents. You just need to click the video on the center of the screen.